Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and in today's video we're going to be covering the June 2021 developer update. Now, this is super exciting for anyone that will be playing the alpha, as this update released a bunch of new details about what we will be able to experience during the initial alpha launch. I usually try to post the videos on the day of the update, but life has been very busy lately to say the least, so I appreciate all of your patience as I do continue to upload, just at a bit of a slower pace than usual, just for the time being. So for anyone playing the alpha, it's important to note that the content that they have available will be slightly different from what they originally were planning, as they are a bit behind in some areas while ahead in others. So I'm assuming that certain team members were able to power through the global circumstances and get a lot done, while others were perhaps more personally affected by what's going on with the pandemic. It's been really bad in Indonesia, and actually a few team members have become infected with COVID, so that's completely understandable that some things would be behind. My heart just goes out to the team. I empathize, I send love and light. One thing I've learned over the past maybe month is that you are more important than your undertakings and your projects and your accomplishments. And it's very difficult for us to learn that as humans, because we put a lot of ourselves into, whatever we do, our work, our hobbies, our schooling, whatever that is. But, if you can't meet a deadline, that's okay. You gotta put yourself first sometimes. You gotta put your health first. And I think the community is completely understanding. And honestly, as we get into it, like they said, they're actually ahead in other things, and it looks like it's gonna be really exciting regardless. Despite everything, the alpha is still being released as scheduled on July 31st. I'm so excited. I'm counting down the days. I have been for a long time now though, so that's not really saying much. I mean, I don't know what time on July 31st it's gonna be, we're gonna get the email, but you can bet the second I get my alpha code in my email, I'm gonna be on it instantly. I don't care what time it is. I'll probably be up like 24 hours, the first 24 hours playing. I mentioned previously that I did want to stream it. I actually thought it'd be really fun if I did like a first 24-hour stream, but unfortunately, we won't be able to stream initially or post any content about it, so I will not be able to share any of this with you all until the team gives us a green flag, just once it gets to a place where they're happy with it and they feel that it's presentable to like the general public. Although it doesn't say anything in this update, I believe the plan is still to have the 3 waves of the alpha, so the initial launch at the end of this month, and then 2 more updates, one coming at the end of August and one at the end of September. Your alpha will reset at each update from my understanding, and your progress overall will not be carried forward to the early access version of the game. So this is your opportunity to really just do whatever you want. I mean, I would advise maybe not to become too attached to any of your playthroughs or your character or your farm or anything like that, but I would see that as like a really good opportunity to actually just have freedom and not, worry about certain things so much, because sometimes I take things really seriously when I'm playing, like a playthrough that I'm committed to. Use it as a time to experiment, because I mean, that's what the alpha is all about anyway, is experimenting and playing through the game as many times and in different ways to try and find bugs and report them to the developers. So in the initial launch on July 31st, we're gonna have Earth theme mining. Now this makes me very excited. The Earth theme element to this note. In a recent podcast episode, Red, Cisco, and I were talking about how cool it would be if there were various themes to various levels of the mine, and this gives me the idea that there will be. So then we'll also have diving zone 10 meters. I'm just excited that we get to dive. I think it makes sense. This would be something they definitely would want to test out in the alpha, since it's such a part of the game that's like unique and sets it apart really from other farm sim games, and it's called Coral Island for a reason. We'll be able to do some upgrades with the blacksmiths, so I'm excited to meet Raphael and Pablo and actually have some dialogue with them. We'll also be able to do some lab upgrades with Ling. We can have access to the character customizer, which we've already seen in the character customization showcase on YouTube, which I will link in the description if you haven't seen it already. I also did a video covering it, which you can check out. We'll have 12 spring crops that we can plant, which I'm just literally gonna plant them all, because sometimes when I play like a farm sim game, I'll just pick like a few few that I'll plant based off of how long it takes them to grow and how much I'll make off of them, but I'm just gonna, try them all out. I want to see the cute little icons for all of them, and when they grow, I want to see what they look like. The fruits and veggies look so cute in the game, so I'm excited to see the spring crops. We'll actually be able to work on our skill tree a bit, just tier 1. We'll also have access to basic crafting, which is really exciting to me. I'm hoping we can do like storage chests, scarecrows, maybe some sprinklers, some seeds. I want to see some items I've never seen before. I don't know if that will be in the alpha, but I'd love to just have a bunch of wildcard items that haven't been included in most farm sim games. That would be really cool. Like, I love seeing when developers think outside the box. We'll also have basic questing, so I'm impressed we're going to be able to actually go on some quests, probably some of the more introductory quests, I would imagine. We'll have access to the basic museum, so this won't be the expanded museum, I imagine, which was a stretch goal that'll probably come much later down the line, where we can actually donate like bugs and fish. This will probably just be more like, I guess maybe for artifacts, or not sure what else. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot shared about this aspect of the game. Basic weather, basic decor mode, so we can edit the interior of our houses, basic world music, and basic UI. So I'm assuming this is just like the overall UI user interface that we'll be working with. So like typically you might press something like escape, and then a UI will pop up, and you'll have like, I can show the Stardew one for reference, but there'll be like the map, your inventory, there'll be your journal, there'll be like settings, stuff like that. In terms of the interiors that we can actually access, we're going to be able to go into Sam's general store. So I imagine we'll be able to purchase some items there, maybe chat with Eva at the bakery and Sam, sell some stuff. We'll see. We're going to be able to go into the blacksmith, which makes sense because of the blacksmith upgrades. I'm excited to see Raphael and Pablo's rooms. If they're part of this version of the game, I'm excited. We're going to be able to go into the carpenters, which is the building that we've seen showcased in previous updates. I don't know if it'll be the new one or the old one, to be completely honest, though. We'll have access to the interior of the basic museum, the lab, which makes sense because we are able to do some lab upgrades, and also Charles's house, which I think is really interesting, and I'm really excited for it. I know Charles and Scott actually live together. Apparently Scott has a gym in his room, and they seem like an interesting pair of roommates, so I'm really excited to check out their house. In terms of NPC dialogue, the initial alpha will release with 0 to 2 heart level dialogues, so some of the NPCs will not have any, while some will have up to 2 heart level dialogues. So when you give gifts or complete quests for different characters and build your relationship with them, you will get a heart. You're going to be able to level up to 2 hearts with certain characters, and you unlock like a special little cutscene and a dialogue. I don't know if I don't think we're getting cutscenes, but you'll get the dialogue for sure. So they say that any NPC that's not mentioned below is released to initial alpha with their draft dialogue, which means it's unformatted and unedited, so in draft mode. But the following here are reformatted and edited. So we have Alice, Charles, Luke, Noah, Theo, Anne, Archie, Betty, Connor, Dinda, Erica, and Jim. And then reformatted but unedited. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I guess it's been reformatted from their draft, but it's not edited yet. And those are Eva, Lily, Macy, Yuri, Kenny, Suki, Scott, Surya, Raphael, Pablo, Zara, Ling, Sam, and Valentina. So these characters here, arguably, maybe the ones that you will have the most development with in the alpha. I love these little guys down here. They're so cute. See you on July 31st. You will see me there 100%. I like how they did this. They did like a little summary of the highlights of what you actually can do during the alpha, because although this tells us, the general info, it doesn't really specify what that means for gameplay. For the alpha, we will only be able to play in English right now. Not to worry, because there's a lot of other languages that it's going to be localized into. You can create your character with basic customization, limited body types, hairstyles, and outfits. So I'm imagining it'll just be what we've seen so far in the character customization showcase. I will play through the spring season, so only the spring season, no other season. It's actually going to be on a loop, so once you get to the end of the season, it'll just restart on day 1. That doesn't mean your progress is going to like restart necessarily. It just means that like it's just going to be like a time loop basically that you're in, and you just keep progressing. There'll be the basic weather that they mentioned above, so that's sunny, rainy, and windy. You can decorate your house with basic furniture, you can plant the 12 spring crops, you can enter the blacksmith, the carpenter, the museum, lab, and Charles's house. You can upgrade your tools and seeds, so upgrade your tools at the blacksmith, upgrade your seeds with Ling at the lab. You can craft basic items like we mentioned before, the 2 hearts with NPCs where you unlock more dialogue. This is clarification on the diving maps, so you can dive actually all maps at 10 meters depth. So this is actually more than what the initial alpha planned for. So this is a great example of that, where they said that some areas they're more ahead in. Another one of those areas would be the character customization, because they weren't initially planning to have such expansive customization just for the alpha. That would be one area. This would be another area they're definitely ahead in, because only 3 of these 4 maps were initially supposed to be accessible over the entire alpha. And then mine 25 levels in the Earth Gate. I mean, this just sounds, Earth Gate, like that sounds phenomenal. That sounds amazing, magical, mythical. I'm excited. Obtaining the skills on tier 1, doing basic quests, and donating basic items to the museum. And then just to be transparent, they shared the things that didn't make it in for the alpha, which one is the ranching system, so no army of chickens. I'm like slightly disappointed that there'll be no animals for the first wave of the alpha, but honestly I think I have enough other stuff to keep me busy that I'm not even gonna really notice, and it's something to look forward to. So we can't purchase any farm buildings, which I'm happy about because I feel like I don't want to yet. I feel like it's too soon. I'm not ready for that type of commitment yet. No hard event cutscenes, so that's what I mentioned. We'll have the dialogue but no cutscenes. We won't have any of the introduction cutscenes. It's something else to look forward to, you know? And then basic onboarding, I don't really know what that means, but if any of you know, let me know in the comments. They're recommending 10 things that you should do. So you should be mentally and physically prepared to start over your game many times. Like I said before, it'll probably lose your save once the next updates come in. Don't be attached, just play. Be ready to stumble upon surprising and unexpected bugs like noodle hands. I hate noodle hands, they scared me, so I'm gonna be mentally prepared for some jump scares. Report the bugs to us to be fixed. Obviously, this is like one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, is actually report them so they can fix them. Wait patiently while they do maintenance for the fixes. Send them your feedback and suggestions to improve. Find our hidden Easter egg, which I'm really excited about. I don't know what it could possibly be. Explore the beautiful island and meet its wonderful residents. Listen to some beautiful original soundtrack music while you're playing, share the experience with fellow alpha players, and last but not least, and most importantly, have fun. You can bet you're behind that I will be having fun. Just an additional note, I don't know if this is the hidden Easter egg or not, but in a recent developer diary on the Discord, Maya posted that there's still a secret unannounced place that they're planning for us to discover in the alpha. So I don't know if that's the Easter egg or something else, but I am so curious. So that was everything for the June developer update, and now it's time for your top comments. On my most recent video, Scott's Tot said, "I'm just hoping for this game to still maintain its playability after you've completed the main story, as many similar titles lose their magic at that point in the game." And so I think between the island hopping expansion that'll come later down the line, as well as the opportunity for mods in the PC world at least, I think those two things will add a lot of replayability to the game. I'm also hoping that just the base game alone will have a lot of elements that draw you back in to play again. Multiplayer, some of the mini games, maybe just the fact that the game is so expansive and you might have to play through a few times in order to actually experience it all. I mean, there's also that beautiful cast of dateables that you might want to, do multiple playthroughs to date and marry many of them. So I do have high hopes for this, but I mean, only time will tell. Drea B also said, "I'd also love to see characters reacting to the changes, developments on the island. This could include our farm's progression, trash being cleaned from underwater, if the player chooses to create the community center or new buildings, etc. I think it would be great since it would add more life to the characters to see the things going on around them." I really want to see that responsiveness on the part of the NPCs to actually what the player is doing and the choices we're making, both in terms of socialization and also, yes, like on the island, like the things we're doing. Eliza Pancakes also said, "Agreed on the player birthdays. That's one thing I've always felt was missing from Stardew Valley." So I was just saying that I'd really like for the birthdays of the NPCs to be at least acknowledged beyond just a little stamp on the calendar, and seems like a lot of you agree with this, so we'll see if that gets implemented. And of course, before I leave you today, let's take a look at today's amazing fan art. Today we have a just amazing piece of art by Ten, and she created this art of Theo and Agung. I think it's kind of funny because Theo's like a fisherman, and I wonder like how often he encounters the merfolk. Like I feel like it could be quite frequently, and I hope he's conscientious of them as he's fishing. I'm sure he is, he seems sweet. So thank you so much, Ten, for sharing this art. I think it's incredible, and like all the detail and colors and textures is just amazing to me. So thank you so much for sharing. Show her some love in the comments, and I will link her Instagram in the description. And there you have it, friends. That is all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments whether or not you're playing the alpha, and also let me know maybe what some of your predictions are for that Easter egg that they're hinting at, or that area that they have not revealed yet that we might be able to visit. Maybe you'll be featured in my next video. I love you all, and until next time, take care.